Come in. Cheapario, I need a review right now. Where are you? Cheapario. Come in, Cheapario.
Okay, Bruce. Okay.
I'm coming.
Wow, what is this place? I'm the Batman from Earth 619. You've entered the DC multiverse of crappiness.
In the thousands of multiverses that are out there for the DCU, nobody will be accepting of a DC connected universe. It will always be destined to fail. It is a canon event.
Hold that thought, guys. I'll be right back. Peace. Hey guys, Cheapario here, and before I get ahead of myself, let's talk about the current state of the DC Universe as it stands in live-action entertainment and the movies. For the remaining slate of 2023, you have in August Blue Beetle, and in December you've got Aquaman 2. Now, with the recent failures of The Flash and of Shazam 2, it's not looking good for these two entries. The Flash alone could result in $150 to $200 million loss for Warner Brothers, and this was thought to be a very high-quality product for the studio. So where does that leave Warner Brothers going forward? James Gunn is the new creative head of DCU. This is, so to speak, a independent studio that now reports directly to David Zaslav, the head of Warner Brothers. Now that James Gunn is in charge, he's going to effectively do a mostly reboot of the DC Universe and has already started to cast actors that are fairly unknown, but you may have seen them before in his first movie of the DCU, that being the Superman Legacy. And he's got actors David Corenswet and Rachel Brosnahan in the roles of Clark Kent Superman and Lois, respectively. There is no hook for this movie, Superman Legacy. As audiences in terms of trends have seen, is that there has to be something to really get audiences to leave the house and decide that they're not going to stream something and they're going to go into the movie theaters to watch a movie. It has to be A-level cinema score, A-level entertainment. It has to be something new and shiny for the audience to really get them to pay their money and see it in theaters. And Superman has really had a better history and television with shows like Smallville and they're currently ongoing Superman and Lois, which are all have their audiences, they have their fans, and truthfully, you can have a better engaging Superman story with those shows as opposed to these failed film entries. So as of right now, Superman Legacy has nothing really going for it besides the creative juices of James Gunn, but that's not going to be enough to really get audiences to commit to yet another attempt at creating an interconnected DC universe. And let me explain further why. So much like Marvel will announce a series of movies that have a connective story strand called a phase, and everything in this phase is a part of phase 1 or phase 2 or phase 3, and there's some beginning and there's some ending that connects these films into this phase. Now with DCU, James Gunn is doing the same thing, with phase 1 being titled Gods and Monsters. But when you look at the slate, what is exciting here? There really isn't anything that's going to bring audiences into theaters. You have a gothic Swamp Thing. You have a series about Wonder Woman, or at least the people that Wonder Woman lives with, and it's more adult skewing and doesn't star Wonder Woman. You have a Supergirl movie when we've already seen that Supergirl doesn't really attract audiences into theaters. So what is here that's exciting? You may have a Batman movie, but it's not the Batman. So there's going to be two simultaneous Batman actors in theaters with this film called Batman Brave and the Bold, which is supposed to be connected to the greater DCU. And then you have Robert Pattinson's film franchise with The Batman 2, The Batman 3, and some connected TV series on Max. But these Batmans are going to be completely interrelated properties with two separate actors. So you have a Superman legacy film that can attract audiences. You have a Batman movie called The Batman Brave and the Bold, which is not going to be the Batman that people are hoping or expecting. And then you've got a number of other side projects that really doesn't attract audiences. So what happens here? So some would say that this is a long-term investment, and with a long-term investment, it takes a couple years to be profitable. So some would say that if you make a movie and you make a second movie, some of these films at first will not be profitable. They may lose money, but as audiences start to get appreciation for this franchise, for this new thing, they'll gain appreciation to it, they'll gain loyalty, and then that'll build an audience, and of course, over time, it'll be profitable. Unfortunately, Warner Brothers is not in the position to lose money, and in my opinion, it needs a payout on that very first film. So if these movies are going to be anticipating a box office tally worldwide of $400 to $500 million, that's not going to fit the bill. And ultimately, history has shown that interconnected universes can die very quickly, as what happened with Universal's Dark Universe, which ended very quickly when Tom Cruise's The Mummy did not make the bank that Universal was hoping for. So in every universe, DC faces the same fate. Audiences will go and watch entry-level entertainment like The Batman or The Joker or The Joker 2 or The Batman 2, and not have to worry about the success or failure of an interconnected universe. And that's exactly what I feel will happen, that James Gunn's DC universe will ultimately fail, and you'll have other movies like The Batman, The Joker, or some of these Elseworld films that'll continue to engage audiences, but they'll be completely standalone. And even so, even if James Gunn has some success, it'll be on one of those one-off entries that will continue absent this interconnected universe. So that does it for me, guys. It's back to the multiverse to learn more about the DC universe. Until then, like and subscribe, and I'll see you guys next time. Bye.